This video is to supplement some of the materials that were not really covered in detail that could be really useful. So if you are a completely new to coding and you wanted to use virtual machine, here are how you can download VirtualBox and Ubuntu. So if you go to the website provided on the slide to download VirtualBox, here's like a platform package. You can select whichever distribution you want to choose based on your operating system. So for me, I'm on Windows, so I chose Windows Host. If you download, then you'll get this executable file in your folder. Another thing you need is Ubuntu, which is a free Linux distribution. So if you click to go download, then it will ask you, it will show you the page where you can download. And now the version is 20. So you just have to click download. I already downloaded the package. So once you have that downloaded, you can open up your folder. And first thing is to install VirtualBox. So really just follow along the process. You don't really have to do anything. If you like, you can create shortcuts on your desktop or launch bar. I don't really need to because I always search on my start menu. So it really depends on your preference. And you can also register file associations, which means that if anything is VirtualBox related material, then it will always be recognized to use Oracle VirtualBox. That's really just what it is. And it's going to tell you that there is some interference as you download this process. You don't have to really worry about it. It's just you're going to have a slight disconnection, perhaps just for a short while as you're installing it, but it's not a big deal. So once you've got that down, then you can just install your program. So to notice that nothing is happening, what you can do is it's going to ask you for admin permission. So you just have to watch out for that little warning sign and install. There's a quick installation process. So now we're going to start this program. So here it is. Now that we have VirtualBox installed, we're going to create an actual computer. So if you click new, then you should see a prompt. Now you can name your, so this is technically your computer, so you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it the same as my actual computer. And since we're going to use Linux distribution, you have to choose the type as Linux. And here you can choose which distribution you're using. So I'm using Ubuntu 64. As you can see here, we've downloaded Ubuntu ISO image. We press next. For this one, since we're not going to do anything more data like computer intensive analysis, so just allocate double the amount of memory size, follow the default settings, and now we're going to create. But for this one, you can double the amount as well, or you can use 15. Maybe like 15 to 20 gigabyte is kind of like sweet spot there. So then we can just create. So this is your computer now on your system. So just like regular computer, you have to start it. So if it's first time you haven't set up anything, it's going to ask you which image file do you want to use. Now here we have to add this Ubuntu image we have. So just gonna click on this. We have this ISO file downloaded. So now we choose this guy and press start. So then VirtualBox will use Ubuntu ISO image. This is same as how when you're first getting your computer, like you purchase it from shop, then people are doing it. They have like a USB stick with ISO image there, and they will install on your computer, like Windows or whichever operating system you purchase. Okay, so now you're seeing something. Looks nice. Okay, so here it's going to ask you some installation options. It's kind of hard to, well, still the same. So we're going to use English, and instead of trying, we're going to actually install Ubuntu. Now you can assign whichever you'd like. So the type of keyboard, or we can just keep it as default and press Control, continue. Okay, so now it's going to ask you some options and updates. What I always like to do is, you might, who knows, you might use this virtual machine for something else. So like other than just doing coding, you can probably do some analysis. I just like to keep everything normal installation and download updates while installing Ubuntu. So this might take a bit of time, but instead you don't have to worry about downloading programs after if it was a necessary dependent package. So just follow the default settings there, and it will start installation. Okay, so this looks scary, but really it doesn't matter on virtual machine. It's not going to erase anything because there's technically nothing in there. So you can go ahead and click install now. Okay, we're going to continue. Okay, so just set your starting time or time date, central. And now this is important. So it's going to ask you what your name is. So this will be your username. So let's say it's going to continue that way. And you can keep your computer name as this if you like. Pick a username, exactly the same as my name. And you can choose a password or your sudo command or sudo command. Now it's going to start complete installation. So it could take a bit longer than just a few minutes. So you can let it run, come back later, and see that your Ubuntu is installed. So installation is now complete. It's asking you to restart the computer, so we'll restart now. Just going to turn off this VirtualBox and restart. Okay, we just press enter. This is if you're using a USB stick, it's going to ask you to remove that. But since we're just using the ISO file, we don't really need to remove anything. If you just press enter, it will take you to start up on Ubuntu. Now, one thing about this current VirtualBox, this is the size of the screen. So it's really small and it's hard to see. So what we can do is once this starts up, we will install insert guest additions to enable full screen. So I'm going to log in to the computer. Okay, so it's asking you to connect to your online account. So it's actually a computer, and you could do it. I don't really need to, so you can just skip. And you could send the system information, or you don't have to, so it's up to you. And I'm just not going to turn on location services, and we're all set. Okay, so as mentioned, this is too small. So what we can do is under devices, you can insert guest additions CD image. So if you do that, now it contains software intended. So we're going to click run. So now submit your password again. Okay, and it will install. So this is terminal. It's automatically populated when we submitted, when we wanted to insert the guest edition CD image. So now it's asking us to press return to close this window. Enter. You can press enter. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now that we've inserted guest CD edition, if you had a black screen, like a large black screen, then this just, so if this is what you're seeing right now in your full like window full screen, you can press Control F. So why this happens is because your resolution may not match to your monitor setting. So your screen resolution, so if we go to screen display, so this resolution may not match your current actual computer's monitor screen, so that's why it could be showing problems when you try to make it larger. So I like this better. So try different settings. So if you see black screen, it's probably because your screen cannot, like it doesn't match your resolution. So yeah, just things to try out on your own. Anyways, so since now we have this little bit bigger screen here, yeah, so that's probably max. Okay, so I like how it is now, so I'm just gonna close it. Okay, so really this is it for setting up your virtual machine on Linux distribution. And now if you're wanted to code, Terminal is default app available here. So you can see you got big screen now. You have your username at your computer name and the $ prompt. So if you want to check your current directory, you can list. And as mentioned in this PowerPoint slide, the prompt, so the folder structure for Linux or Ubuntu is very simple. You have home, username, and then you can go into your desktop. So if you want to create a folder in this desktop here, you can go into your desktop directory, change directory into desktop, and now you'll see desktop as your on your prompt. Okay, so let's create. So see here, nothing is in here that you can see. Is this, and so there's nothing listed here. We're going to make a folder. If you do that, now you've just created a folder that you can also access on your desktop. So this is empty right now. We're just going to check the guest image. So So yeah, this is how it is. And then if we print out current working directory, we've got /home, /username, and our desktop. Now what's in our root? Let's check. Okay, so this is our root. We got binary folder, home, mount folder. So if you ever mount something on your system, then you'll be able to see stuff on this MNT folder. Currently, there's nothing mounted, so you won't see anything. So for Linux, you can get to your desktop using home, your username, and you can tab complete if it's a unique filing. So if you type intro, or you can get desktop. If you don't see anything when you tab complete, so technically that thing does not exist in your current directory. So, but as desktop exists, and if we tab complete here, then you'll be able to see that folder and it's going to take you to it. Now you see the full prompt here. Okay, so this is it for how to set up the virtual machine for Linux. Happy coding!